Welcome to the next podcast of SaaS for Channel. Still in Roost in Germany for CloudFest. We're talking to technology trading partners and Gary and Vladimir from Trading Partners. I would like to give you the word to have a small introduction about yourself and about your organization.
Hello, my name is Gary Ansrud. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Technology Trading Partners. We're excited to be here today, so thank you. So Technology Trading Partners is primarily a hardware company that focuses on buying, selling, and servicing hardware for customers all throughout the world. We're based in Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, but we also have a facility in the Netherlands in Rotterdam. And we're here today to talk to customers and people about how we can help them as they look to migrate to the cloud and provide them with support and services.
Okay.
Vladimir?
Yeah, so we have about 30 years experience in the secondary market. We've been...
secondary market, how do you mean that? Because
secondary market for hardware, whether it's servers, network equipment, telecommunications, any type of infrastructure related to a data center, including critical power. We buy equipment globally. We bring it in-house, we refurbish everything in-house, and we resell it on the secondary market again. We do it through resellers, through maintenance companies, directly to end users, to enterprise customers globally. And our customers range from small businesses to large enterprise companies like Fortune 100 companies in the US with multiple offices, some with just single offices. And we provide services with that as well, including data center decommissioning, moves, logistics. If they need upgrading, again, somebody's migrating to the cloud, that's when they bring us in. They could be, let's say, keeping part of the equipment, but another part they're looking to get some return on investment so they can use those funds for other services.
So if I'm an enterprise company and I want to get rid of my data center and go and migrate to the cloud, public cloud or one thing, and I want to get rid of my equipment, then you're there.
That's where we come in.
That's Absolutely. Where you come in. And also, do you do it secure? Because if I have all types of storage equipment, I don't want them to get into wrong ends.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we have a data wiping process that we go through. It's a certified process, and the customer would receive a certificate of destruction. All the data is wiped. They can choose the levels that it's wiped. It could be from a small wipe to multi times. So it complies with the GDPR standards. It complies with NIST standards in the US, and it ensures that no data goes anywhere.
And doesn't matter which supplier it is, the equipment?
No, we're agnostic. So we work with all the different manufacturers out there today. So it doesn't really matter what the customer has.
And how do you do your inventarization to know what you're going to give, which price to what type of equipment?
So we work with the customer with what's referred to as a buyout form. So they can fill out the form that gives us the make, all the specs, all the details about the inventory they have, where it's located, the quantities. If they don't want to fill out the form, they can just provide that information to us. Or if they need to, we can actually go out to the site, do a site survey, do our own inventory, do our own analysis to come back and be able to come back with what we think the secondary value would be for that equipment.
Can you have indication? Let's say on average they get 10% of the new value back, or
it's more than that. It's more than
that.
It depends on the type of equipment. I mean, there's some things that are hot in demand, and they can get up to 50 cents on the dollar that they pay for. It depends what it is. I mean, other things could be totally worthless. It's just it varies from between those numbers.
And then it also depends on what effort it's involved with the decommissioning, right? So if they need us to go in and actually take everything out of the racks and do very intense inventory and a bunch of other work that's involved, we have to calculate that into the overall value. But at the end of the day, we're hoping we write them a check and they're not writing us a check. So that's our goal. So
how long does the company exist?
So initially it started about 30 years ago. Okay. It's changed names once in 2014. Used to be Trading Partners International. It became Technology Trading Partners in 2014. And then the other thing I just wanted to add that as part of the process when we value equipment, so our daily roles, I guess, tasks, what we do is we keep kind of our eye on what is going on in the secondary market. That's our secret sauce, if you will.
Okay, so what's going on in the secondary market?
That's exactly what we have to know.
But what are the main trends at this moment?
Right now, I mean, there's still supply chain constraints. So people are looking for harder to find, like, for example, Cisco product. There's certain things that still 6 to 9 months delay ordering from Cisco. So we try to locate for our customers what they're looking for. On the other hand of it, for example, on the other side, memory, hard drives have become a lot more of a commodity. So those prices are kind of on the downtrend. But again, if there's a break in the supply chain, they could come back up again, which is what happened during or after COVID. When there was a lot of demand.
So it was very good COVID for your business.
It was kept us very busy.
That kept you very busy. Was there an intrinsic value or reason why you started up this company?
In the Netherlands.
Or in your beginning of the company, or
kind of fell into it by accident.
That's also
always
nice.
a good sign. That's always a good sign.
I know. You study finance. There's not too many finance jobs around back then, and you end up in something like this.
And something second-hand trading of equipment.
I think the arguments you just gave, why companies come to you, they're on the financial, the technical side, availability side. I think that if I read the papers here in the Netherlands recently, quite often, circularity is also a main thing for refurbished and renewed hardware. Yeah. Does it help you?
The what? I'm sorry.
The trends for
circularity,
green IT.
Yeah, well, absolutely. People are looking for sustainability. They're looking to reuse as much as possible. Yeah, it's a big trend right now in the U.S. as well.
And is that picking up?
It is.
Or is it more the wording?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think companies like to use the wording, but they don't know exactly how to approach it. So that's where we come in. They bring us in and we show them, okay, this is possible, this is not possible. So that's kind of our expertise.
And I think with COVID and the supply chain issues, a lot of customers had to look at alternatives to purchasing equipment that they didn't look at before. And so looking at refurbished or pre-owned equipment is new for them. And so they just kind of dipped their toe into that area. And so they bought small, tested it. I think they're going to become more knowledgeable over time, and they're going to see that buying that type of equipment is advantageous for them, not only financially, but they're still getting high quality equipment that can be supported by organizations like ours to help them. And so I see that side of the industry growing just because they're more knowledgeable now, and they understand the value that you can get in the secondary market.
Is it also more acceptable now? I think, especially in mature markets, having an HP background, I know that a lot of people value buy new. Yeah. But with the current trends, it's more. I think it may be more becoming acceptable to have.
It is. It's acceptable, and also I think the OEMs are beginning to recognize the value, because the value is, who are our customers? As far as end users, these are companies that may not be able to afford new, so they start with something. So HP server that they buy on the refurb market, as they grow, could become 100 servers they buy new from
you're not
HP.
Competing with the suppliers.
Absolutely not. No, we're helping them kind of get into.
Do those suppliers know that, or
sometimes
they acknowledge it?
Sometimes yeah, they recognize it. Sometimes sometimes they don't.
Okay, are there some suppliers who really are having a problem with you, or?
I don't think there's.
No, with us. Is there also
on the step on their toes?
You're not going to say
side is the one who really endorses you guys.
Yeah. Helps you
as far as the OEMs.
Yeah.
I mean, we work with Dell on the refurb side. Dell resells their off-lease equipment as well. So we work with Dell Financial Services on that. Also, I mean, there's some other manufacturers who.
Do they also help to refurbish the equipment? Or is that something that you really do by yourself?
We do that by ourselves. I mean, that's the only way that we can properly know that it's been done to our satisfaction and know that we're going to take care of the customer. Though we do get some equipment in that's new, right, and never been used. We still want to test it. We still want to make sure everything works because we want to make sure that when the customer gets the product, there's no questions. So, and we have a very low return rate, and we don't look at returns based on defects or anything. It's just any returns that come back. We still have a very, very low rate, a much lower rate than you actually get with new equipment. So, because it goes through a much more thorough testing process internally with us. So,
And the other reason why we like to do it is because when we get the equipment in, we need to reset everything to factory settings, make sure there's no mention of the previous owner. That's very important for security. So we reset everything. We make sure that all the hard drives are wiped clean, that absolutely, all the labels are off, so there's absolutely no way to trace it back to the previous user, obviously for security purposes.
Okay. So you're a global company, office in the US, office in Europe.
Yep.
If you look at the markets where you buy from and the markets you supply to, is there a difference between that geographically?
I mean, we sell everywhere. We buy mainly in the U.S. and just started recently to buy in Europe. They are different markets, obviously, but the equipment that we buy in Europe, we sell in Europe. The equipment we purchase in the U.S. goes in the U.S. and it goes to other parts of the world as well, to Asia, Europe.
That's what's in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
It goes more to the countries like Africa, Asia, or something like that. But if I listen to you, you say from Europe is staying in Europe for a large part.
Yeah. Yep.
in some of the businesses that we deal with, they want it to stay local and region, right? Especially from a security perspective.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that it's local and region when it gets processed.
If you look into security perspective and also to the different kind of equipment that you're buying and also from the different suppliers, how is it possible with, I think, just a small company that you are, that you keep track on this and that you can make it possible to guarantee that each equipment that you have are secure and delivered and meet the requirements that there are?
I think you got to have, good processes, but more important, you have to have good people. We have really, really good people that have been with the company for a while that really know what they're doing. And we have processes that we follow religiously so that we make sure that we maintain that. I mean, being a small company, you really have no room for error. You've got to make sure that you deliver on the expectations. You got to make sure that you understand those things very clearly with the customer. And you got to make sure that you do exactly what you say you're going to do. And that's what we try to do. I'm not going to say, we're perfect. We've never made a mistake. I mean, I don't think anybody can say
Nobody
that.
does.
But I think we're very reliable, we're very dependable, and we're very consistent.
Are there companies that audit your equipment?
The only people that would audit us is our own customers. So some of those do audit the reports and some of the things we go back to make sure that everything is exactly as it should be. We have some customers where we do on-site audits. In other words, everything we do is done on-site at their location before we even take the equipment away from the facility. Yeah. They've already done their own inventory, and they match our report versus to theirs to make sure that everything lines up. And then we get the blessing then to take it off or take the equipment away from that facility. So we can work with customers in a lot of different ways, but our job is to make sure that we do it in the most efficient manner that makes them comfortable, because at the end of the day, if this is not safe and secure, then it's not successful transaction for anyone, regardless of whatever we pay for the equipment.
If I'm looking to cloud and IaaS providers, etc., what's happening, most of them are not buying any more servers from providers, etc. They have their own or build their own servers, or let them produce in China and bring them into their systems. Is this also equipment that you buy and resell again?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's not, you don't have to be a provider or a supplier brand to be with you, to deal with you.
We deal in components as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you see
CPUs
for a trend
memory.
there? Is there a trend in this?
As far as the equipment that's coming out that's not branded, I mean, there's plenty of it. Yeah, there's a lot out there. We don't see it from the larger customers because they're used to kind of dealing with the large OEMs. So we see more branded equipment, but there's plenty of other names, I guess, out there that's coming out from a lot of places.
And you can do good business in also on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you do with equipment that you cannot resell anymore?
So that's where the environmental aspect comes in.
For instance.
So recycling is a byproduct of what we do. So whatever doesn't have value, we are a sorting facility. We bring everything in-house again. We divide what we can sell, what we can't. The equipment that's not resellable We take as many components out as we can, again, to remarket it. And then the rest of it, we break it down to a certain point. For example, we separate the metals from the plastics, from there's even some boards, obviously, that don't have value. And then we send it downstream to our downstream partners who further take the next step to recycling it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We now see trends like artificial intelligence, but also you see the Bitcoin miners, etc. So you see a lot of companies having different type of equipment required, just specialized for one purpose.
Yeah.
What does artificial intelligence, for instance, mean for your business?
I think it's going to help our business because more and more people that need that are going to want to be able to have the right components to build the right infrastructure to support that. I think you're going to see people take advantage of buying refurbished equipment and looking at that to save dollars spent on getting that environment set up quickly. And I just think it's just technology in general. Even though we are in the secondary market, we're still a technology company in the fact that, everything that you're talking about today still has to have hardware infrastructure to support it. And that's what our main focus is around that. And you're still going to need, components and hard drives and other things. And whether you build it yourself or you go with an OEM model, we can help support either way you go. So.
Yeah, so just to add to that, about 5 years ago when the whole Bitcoin started expanding, the prices went up, there were a lot of, in the U.S., there were a lot of builders who were building out their farms, and they came to us for power supplies. They needed power supplies. We didn't have video cards. Nobody had video cards at that time.
No,
GPUs, but yeah, we were selling power supplies like, it was the end of the world.
Surprising how a part can be so important.
I know.
Is that also something that is going against your business? Because if you're looking, all the providers are trying to make their equipment as energy less consuming as possible, and now you're coming up with old equipment, quote old equipment, who is consuming more energy than, and we now see the energy prices rising. Right. So, is that something that you have to deal with?
Maybe eventually. I think right now maybe we're not there just yet, but there's still a lot of equipment that is on the secondary market still in production. So if somebody's looking, somebody has a maintenance contract, for example, on second or third generation from new of servers, they look to the secondary market to find those parts or find more servers. So that's it's still afloat. It's still keeping us going.
And to add to that as well, as you continue to go up the stack and get newer equipment, you still have to dispose of that equipment, right? So we'd rather buy the equipment, right, so that we can repurpose it. That's the best thing for the environment. That's the best thing for everybody. But at the end of the day, you still need to support what do you do with the equipment. So regardless, you still need someone like us to come in and help you as you advance or upgrade or refresh your environment. What do you do with the old equipment? How do you do that properly? How do you do that effectively so that you're doing the right thing for the environment, you're doing the right thing from a security perspective, and at the same time, you've got a trusted partner that's involved so that you can take care of those type of needs as you need those. So,
if we look at the next few years, 1 to 2 years, where are you going from? What are your main objectives for the upcoming period as a company?
We're looking to expand, both in the U.S. and in the EU. There are a lot of opportunities. I mean, I think there'll still be a need for hardware in the next couple of years. Everything runs on hardware. It was actually interesting to see at CloudFest that there were a lot of hardware providers and storage, and it's good to see because to us it says that there's still a need out there, whether it's for components or for entire systems. So it's going to grow. I think the whole market is going to grow, obviously, for cloud.
And how do you want to expand, or how do you want to grow?
So
are you buying companies? Are you?
Yeah. So we've got a strategy that we've developed here just recently. So our 5-year plan is really to kind of, I'd say, at minimum triple the number of employees that we have and probably double the number of locations. Part of that's going to be organic, but obviously we're going to have to make some acquisitions along the way. So, we're looking at all those things all the time to see, how do we do that the most effective way? And at the same time, if we're going to make an acquisition of a company, does it fit our core values? Does it have the same type of focus on customer support? it a fit for our organization and what we want to do from a personnel perspective as well as a business perspective. So those are the things that we're looking at. But, I think our leadership team has put a good strategy about what we want to do over the next 5 years. And hopefully we can be successful and hit that target.
Okay, well, we're coming close to the end of this conversation. The last thing we always ask our guests is to have a tip for the entrepreneurs with cloud companies here present at the CloudFest or the listeners to the podcast.
Yeah.
Do you have a tip you can share with them?
Don't stop trying.
Don't stop trying.
Whatever, you always come across obstacles. Whatever those obstacles are, just keep going.
Yeah. Very good tip.
You also have one?
I think that, it's been my experience. People do business with people. They don't do business with organizations. And so, work with people that take time to develop those relationships. Don't be so eager to try to, do business as much as you possibly can, but to really find the right people that align with what your goals are and can help you be successful at the same time you can help them be successful. So, if you do that, I think it's just a matter of time. You'll make it.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Thank
we'd
you.
like to thank you for the conversation.
Thank you very much.
I hope you have a great time at CloudFest
Thank you.
left.
You as well.
And I hope to see you in Rotterdam someday soon.
Yeah.
I'm from Rotterdam as well.
Oh, okay.
People who want to connect or get more information, they can come to www.saasforchannel.nl, and they will also have all the information about TTP and Gary and Vladimir. Thank you very much
Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Bedankt voor het luisteren naar de podcast van SaaS for Channel. Wilt u meer weten over wat er besproken is? Kijk dan op onze website saasforchannel.nl.